Good afternoon from BBC Look North. The second and final stage of the women's Tour de Yorkshire was disrupted by oil on the road the day's first climb. The riders had to be diverted around the Côte de Silfo while cleaners raced to clear the spill in time for the men's competition, which is still underway. The cyclists face some tough weather conditions along the route too, as Alistair Gill reports.
As the wind whipped in off the North Sea in Scarborough, it was difficult to imagine why anyone would be making a beeline for the coast. But come they did, all anoraks and wellies, lycra and rain jackets. Good flag flying weather, not so good for cycling. At Bridlington, the women's race had the wind ahead of them, literally, as they pushed out north in gusts of up to 40 miles an hour. There were man-made problems too. The first climb of the day had to be diverted around at the last minute. Someone had emptied oil all over the road. As you can see behind me, the clean-up is now underway as organisers try and get this hill sorted out for when the men's race comes through in a few hours' time. But there is still a lot of oil on the road, so they're putting down grit to try and solve the problem. While the Tour de Yorkshire has seen protests from anti-fracking and anti-Team Ineos groups, the campaigners we spoke to said this wasn't them and they don't condone any direct action which disrupts the Tour de Yorkshire.
It really is a race where it shows the best of Yorkshire, and it really shows that this is the place to come cycling, and something like this happens and it really makes it's really disappointing for us all.
Back in the race, Lizzie Banks from Sheffield won the first sprint. She was one of the few riders who coped with the weather.
It was brutal. I think I went to hell and back about 40 times, but now we've finished. I think it's great. Living in Sheffield and riding in Yorkshire and Derbyshire, you know, this is summer for us.
In the end, the very best came to the fore on the seafront. Marianne Vos has 2 Olympic golds, is a triple world champion, and she's now overcome everything Yorkshire could throw at her too.
I've seen it on television in the last years, and I'm very happy to be here now and to see and feel it myself. So yeah, it has been amazing.
It's the men's turn now, and there's a whole load of hills, wind and rain between them and the finish. Alistair Gill, BBC Look North, Scarborough.